Welcome to the news on NTA International. I am Minna Daniels. First, the headlines. NNPC begins lifting of petrol from Dangote refinery, assures of availability of the product nationwide. As flood recents in Maiduguri, Nigerian Correctional Service recaptures 7 inmates out of the 281 escapees. Storm Boris wreaks havoc in Europe, claims 8 migrants as boat from France to England capsizes. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will return to Abuja on Sunday following his official visit to China and his short stay in the United Kingdom. President Tinubu, who left Abuja for Beijing, China on 29 August 2024, started his official visit on Tuesday, September 2nd, with a meeting with President Xi Jinping in the Great Hall of the People. While in China, President Tinubu was warmly received by his host with a 21-gun salute, and a guard of honor was mounted for his inspection. During bilateral meetings with President Xi Jinping, 5 memoranda of understanding were signed between Nigeria and China. Among the MOUs signed were the cooperation plan between Nigeria and China, which is to jointly promote the Belt and Road Initiative, cooperation in the peaceful application of nuclear energy, and strengthening cooperation on human resource development under the Global Development Initiative. Others include the MOU on media exchange and cooperation and the one between China Media Group and the Nigerian Television Authority. Nigeria also signed a memorandum of understanding with China Harbour Engineering Company to build the 68-kilometer Lagos Green Rail line designed to run from the Lekki Free Zone to the Marina and connect with the Blue Line. A memorandum of understanding for the $1 billion iron ore to steel project planned for Kogi State was also signed between Chat and Capstone Integrated Limited of Nigeria and Sinomach He of China. At FOCAC, President Tinubu, as chairman of ECOWAS, delivered a paper on global peace, stressing multilateralism and cooperation as essential ingredients for international peace, capping his visit to China with a meeting with representatives of Nigerians in the diaspora organization, China Chapter. U.S. President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris have addressed the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation at its 53rd Annual Legislative Conference for its awards dinner at the Walter E. Washington Convention Center. President Joe Biden, in his remarks, kicked against Donald Trump's policy on immigrants, noting that the black and brown immigrants poison the blood of the country. Right now, his running mate is attacking Haitian Americans in Ohio. It is wrong. It's got to stop. Any president should reject hate in America and not incite it, Biden said. On her part, Vice President Kamala Harris said, "Ours is a vision of a future where we protect our most fundamental freedoms, including the freedom to vote, which is why we will finally pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act and the Freedom to Vote Act. I truly believe that America is ready to turn the page on the politics of division and hate. And to do it, our nation is counting on the leadership in this room." French National Rally President Jordan Bardella has declared that nothing can now be done without the National Rally or against the National Rally Party. During the party's elected representatives' homecoming weekend at the National Assembly in Paris, where he speaks on panel alongside leader of the party, Marine Le Pen. Jordan Bardella and Marine Le Pen arrived in the room welcoming the National Rally MPs on their return to Parliament, urging the members to prepare for the future in the face of the single party. Leader of the National Rally, Marine Le Pen, said they are now in a system where the party with the fewest votes is in charge of forming a government. So let's hope that this term of office is as short as possible. The Constitution forbids dissolution before 1 year, except in the case of a new presidential election. There are still 10 months to go, and I am convinced that at the end of these 10 months, in the spring or autumn, there will be new legislative elections. In South Sudan's parties to the 2018 peace deal have announced an extension of the country's transitional period by 2 more years. However, implementation of the peace deal is to end February 2025.
The extension means elections will now take place on 22nd December 2026. It means the current government set up with President Kiir having 5 vice presidents will continue for another 24 months. During the next 2 years, the unity government is expected to complete unification, retrain and redeploy former rival forces.
The people must trust in the security sector. Why? So that they feel secure, and those who took refuge in neighboring countries can feel comfortable to voluntarily and in a dignified manner come back.
The extension is further expected to allow the country's new constitution to be drafted and allow the government to reach a peace deal with groups opposed to the current arrangement. In the streets of South Sudan's capital, Juba, there were some mixed feelings.
These 2 years is also not enough for me, because there's going to be a lot of things to be done, a lot of things, census to be done, and also buying equipment for these elections should be done. And if the money is not enough, for example, at the moment the government is saying that there's not enough money, there's a lack of funds.
It's important that we are going to have another period of 2 years. This will give the current transitional government to have, its all the remaining provisions in agreement implemented, so that the country will have elections by 2026 without any problems.
It's a process, because if you're going for election, there are a lot of things need to be put in place such that election can go smoothly. With this extension, I think as a citizen, I am very happy with it, so that things should be done in a right way.
This is the 3rd time that the duration for implementation of the 2018 peace deal has been extended. Many here say they hope this is the last extension before the country can go to the polls. For now, the decision made by President Salva Kiir and his vice presidents have to be approved by the country's Council of Ministers and Parliament in order to become effective.
8 migrants died early Sunday when the boat they were traveling in from France to England capsized just as Storm Boris wreaks havoc in Europe. Kolum Mohammed tells us more.
8 migrants died early Sunday when the overcrowded vessel conveying them capsized while trying to cross the channel from France to England. French authorities say this came 2 weeks after the deadliest of such disaster this year. The French and British governments have sought for years to stop the flow of migrants who pay smugglers thousands of euros per head for passage to England from France aboard small boats. The regional prefect, Jacques Billand, at a news conference confirmed this incident, calling for tighter strike against smuggling rings who encourage migrants to embark on the perilous journey through the channel from France to England. The deadliest incident earlier this month led to the death of 12 migrants, mostly from Eritrea. This raised the number of deaths to 7 migrants in the channel from 12 in 2023. Climatologists say the weather condition determines the decision to take the dangerous journey. As the weather improves, thousands more risk it all to take the journey. Amid so much tragedy, there was a very different but still incredible picture. A baby was born on another migrant rescue boat. More than 22,000 migrants have arrived in England by crossing the Channel since the beginning of this year, according to British officials. Similarly, one person has drowned in Poland and an Australian fireman has died responding to floods. Authorities say on Sunday as Storm Boris batters Central and Eastern Europe with torrential rains. Since midweek, swaths of Austria, the Czech Republic, Hungary, Romania and Slovakia have been hit by high winds and unusually fierce rainfall. The rains flooded streets and submerged entire neighborhoods in some places. Romanians waded through the armpit high water to safety. Poles sought shelter in schools. Czechs hurriedly put up sand dikes in an effort to keep the water at bay. Sunday's deaths bring the overall toll from the storm to 7, with thousands evacuated across the continent. Around 1,600 people have been evacuated in Koloski, and Polish authorities have called in the army to support firefighters. Kolom Muhammad, NTA News.
And 2 passenger trains collided in Egypt's Nile Delta, killing at least 3 people, 2 of them children. Again, Kolom Muhammad has details.
The crash happened in the city of Zagzag, the capital of Sharjah province, the country's railway authorities said in a statement. Egyptian Health Ministry said the collision injured 40 others. Train derailments and crashes are common in Egypt, where an aging rail system has also been plagued by mismanagement. In recent years, the government announced initiatives to improve its railways. In 2018, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said some 250 billion Egyptian pounds, equivalent to $8.13 billion, will be needed to properly overhaul the North African country's neglected rail network. Last month, a train crashed into a truck crossing the rail tracks in the Mediterranean province of Alexandria, killing 2 people. Train derailments and crashes in Egypt have been attributed to divergent reasons, chiefly amongst which is underfunding resulting in mismanagement. An incident once forced the transport minister to resign, and at the time, 2 conflicting train conductors rammed train coaches into one another as a way of settling their scores. Egyptian authority is said to be planning grand overhaul of the rail network and its authority going forward. Kolom Muhammad, NTA News.
Stakeholders in the health sector are committed to sustaining the gains of COVID-19 to building a resilient health system capable of responding to future health emergencies in the country. The speakers at the DART-file COVID-19 Impact Mitigation Project closeout in Nigeria were of the opinion that maintaining such momentum would ensure that the gains made are sustained and built upon for the well-being of all Nigerians. It was an opportunity to celebrate and reflect on the achievements made due to the government and stakeholders' collaborative efforts that contributed to the success of Nigeria's COVID-19 response.
The COVID-19 came to everybody as a surprise, and there were confusion and pandemonium here and there. But with NCDC, Nigeria was able to ensure that certain things were done and states got the necessary support that they should. So all the partners that supported NCDC that time, we want to appreciate all of you, and DataFi inclusive.
I wish to congratulate DataFi for achieving such a wonderful and remarkable results concerning their support, most especially on strengthening the EOC.
DataFile is a multi-year global initiative funded by USAID and the U.S. President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, implemented by a consortium of partners to expedite and sustain access to high-quality data, facilitating the effective control and management of HIV and COVID-19 epidemics in the country.
Informatics community of practice to develop electronic medical record systems. We developed the LAMIS Plus EMR system, which is currently in use in about 17 different states that USAID supports in Nigeria.
could be recalled that between April and November 2020, data files set up emergency operation centers in 8 states of the Federation and provided high-impact analytics to guard the COVID-19 response, as well as trained government staff to better analyze and use data for decision-making. The World Bank intervention in critical areas of need in Nigeria transcends the restoration of degraded landscapes in northern Nigeria. At the Yankari Games Reserve in Bauchi State, the provision of working equipment for the operational efficiency of rangers and the protection of wildlife is attracting more tourists and researchers to the resort and safari. Charles Halford has the report.
Akriso, the agroclimate resilience in semi-arid landscapes has since the inception in Nigeria devoted both financial and technical resources to improving lives in rural communities, as well as providing the right kind of tool that can enhance efficiency at workplace. This is what has played out at the Yankari Game Reserve in Bauchi State. Rangers, who are tasked with the responsibility of manning the game reserve and parks, for a long time, this ranger tells me struggled to keep up with the demands of the job because they never had the right kind of training to carry out their duties.
For the intervention, there was lack of gadgets, equipment. The basic gadgets, we don't even have them.
The inadequacy of logistics and incessant breakdown of vehicles account for low patronage. This is in addition to the problem of poaching.
Before, people doesn't like to partake on safari, and we are losing a lot. It's even discouraged people not to visit Yankari Game Reserve.
But as a way of intervention, the World Bank project, Akriso, provided new additional operational vehicles and gadgets, as well as training on how to use these equipment.
The night vision goggle help us to identify areas where suspect poachers are mounting their camp. It helps us to identify threats.
With these new interventions now, it's not something that I'll open for you, but I have 100% that we are now generating 100% on the recreational.
It's definitely great improvement in the areas of intervention, especially because these rangers, initially they were not uniform. So actually, it looks more or less like not all that organized. But this time around, even today, when I saw them, I was very impressed.
Again, because of this intervention by the World Bank, the Yankari Game Reserve now have an updated data, resolves human-animal conflicts, as well as attracted international partners to initiate projects that will bring about sustainability and save the endangered species. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
This is the news on NTA International. We have more reports, but after the break.
This season of Big Brother Naija is a must follow. Follow every twist and turn with eyes wide open. Because even when the journey begins with chemistry, chaos follows. Strap in for 2 journeys in one house. Big Brother Naija Season 9 premieres Sunday 28 July, 7 p.m. West African time on DSTV 198 and GoTV 49. Gold sponsor, Guinness. Black shines brightest.
Welcome back. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has commenced loading of petrol from Dangote Refinery in the Ibeju-Lekki axis of Lagos. At the start of the process, 10 trucks drove into gantries while their compartments were filled with the products from a computerized gadget. Equipped with 86 gantries, making it possible to load 86 trucks simultaneously. The development now serves as a boost for the NNPC in the quest to make petroleum products available across the Federation, while 40 gantries are dedicated for the discharge of petrol alone. Vice President of Dangote Industries Limited, Divakumar Edwin, said the refinery has the capacity to discharge 54 million liters of petrol per day, thereby saving the country foreign exchange.
We have requirements of Nigeria, but we can also have surplus to export. So it's kind of a moment of great pride for every Nigerian.
A correspondent, Michael Olaleye, who was at the refinery at Ibeju-Lekki as at the time of filing this report, says the number of trucks driving into the gantries keep increasing, with the NNPC projecting hundreds in the coming days. And it's a vowed determination to bring compressed natural gas vehicle conversion centers and kits closer to the people. The presidential initiative on CNG has commenced dispatching of conversion kits to states across the country. Bolaji Akim completes the story.
The compressed natural gas CNG kit includes cylinders meant for the conversion of 6, 4, and 8-cylinder vehicles, valves, regulators, switching system, and injectors. Distribution of these kits to the centers nationwide is to encourage vehicle owners to convert from the use of petrol to CNG.
Devices are safe, they are simple enough, and they are going to help you reduce your costs. Standard is very important to us, safety is very important to us, quality is very important to us.
The PICNG team also visited one of the conversion centers where pre-conversion test is being carried out on commercial vehicles that will benefit from the conversion free of charge.
You need to know the present condition of every vehicle you want to convert, so that you can know whether there is going to be any correction, any repairs to be done before you impute that new system that we call CNG, of course. So, and that goes a long way.
We had some that we actually turned away. We have private cars that actually came into for conversion, but now we are focusing on commercial. We are not focusing on private cars.
The conversion awareness is a sensitive program of the PICNG. It is expected to take about 10,000 vehicles in the first tranche, while efforts are ongoing to encourage private investors to invest in CNG filling stations so as to make the product available to CNG vehicle users. In Lagos, Bolaji Akim, NTA News.
Muslims all over the world mark Eid al-Maulud to commemorate the birth of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be unto him. But not many understand the significance and why Muslims celebrate the day. Let's join Tokwe Alabi in this report as he tells us what distinguishes the day, which corresponds to Sunday, 15th of September this year.
The Quran emphasizes on one's duty to parents, and regardless of their faith, and duties to neighbors, relatives, sick people, the old, and victims of natural disasters, the minority groups, and to promote what is good and prevent what is wrong. No individual's honor should be injured, and neither should a person be harmed. Prophet Muhammad is reported as saying, "A man is not a believer who fills his stomach while his neighbor is hungry." All these virtues are exemplified by the life of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, and in a nutshell, he lived the message as the Islamic society he built was acclaimed for its justice and equity.
Do sadaqah with the little one we have. We don't need to have everything. Whatever you have, give to the needy.
So that you can carry along the less privileged. So discipline, endurance, and empathy for humanity.
It was said that at its peak, a woman could carry a load of gold on her head and travel from Medina to Mecca, a distance of 300 miles plus, without being harassed. This is the man who is being remembered today. But it is heart-rending to note that all these virtues that this great prophet epitomized are in great deficit in many places. Today, corruption is rampant, promoted by the greed and dishonesty of the elite. The followership is disillusioned and angry by the lack of progress and development. Patriotism is therefore less of a priority to many as they eke out a living by all means, fair or foul.
The Quran said, I have not sent you except mercy for the all mankind. It's not only for Muslims. Prophets come to guide people to God.
We should see ourselves as a single body, various parts of which must contribute for the well-being of that body.
Stop complaining. Do something for yourself. And the government does not need to do everything, but somebody has to do something to be able to stay afloat.
We need to all put our hands on deck
to be able to alleviate what is going on, particularly the poverty and the lack of ability to feed.
Eid al-Maulud is generally not a time for merrymaking, but a period for sober reflection and devotion.
And for Muslims, it is to continue to uphold the ideals of steadfastness, honesty, justice, and forbearance as epitomized by Prophet Muhammad in Abuja. Tokwe Alabi, NTA News.
And President Bola Tinubu has sent a message of goodwill and congratulations to Nigerian Muslims on this year's commemoration of the Maulud Nabi, the birthday of Prophet Muhammad. The president urged Muslims to use the period for deep reflection and remembrance of the Holy Prophet's exemplary conduct and noble teachings. The president also encouraged the faithful to reflect on the life lived by the Prophet Muhammad, exemplified by purity, selflessness, perseverance, kindness, and compassion, and endeavor to imbibe those virtues. President Tinubu also urged the Muslim faithful to dedicate the Maulud holiday to pray for the country and show empathy and compassion towards one another. The Nigerian Correctional Service says it has recaptured 7 inmates out of the 281 that escaped from the Maiduguri Medium Custodial Center. A statement by the Public Relations Officer, Nigerian Correctional Service, Abubakar Umar, indicates that the inmates escaped as a result of unprecedented flooding currently ravaging Borno State, which pulled down the walls of a custodial center and staff quarters in the Maiduguri, the state capital. The statement assures of public safety while efforts are on to track down the fleeing inmates and take them back into lawful custody. Kenyan Olympics gold medalist Faith Kipyegon has retained her 1.500 Diamond League title. This is her 4th successive title and 5th overall. For details and more, let's join Suleiman Musa on sports.
Nigeria's Junior Tigers suffered a heavy defeat to their Malian counterparts in the final of the FIBA Under-18 Afro Basketball Championship in South Africa. Mali overpowered the Junior Tigers by 76-56 in a one-sided final decided at the University of Pretoria. Despite the defeat, the featured Tigers achieved a great feat by securing the silver medal. To athletics, American Brittany Brown clocked a time of 22.20 seconds to claim her first Diamond League victory. Brown, who was a bronze medalist at Paris Olympics, was crowned champion in the women's 200 meters at the Diamond League season finale in Brussels. Great Britain's Arenata finished second with a 0.25 seconds behind Brown, while American Avia Battle took third. In another development, Kenya Faith Kipyegon stormed to victory in the women's 1,500 meters to win her 4th successful Diamond League title and 5th overall. The 30-year-old Kenyan, who broke the Olympic record when claiming the 1,500 meters gold medal in Paris, was pushed hard by Ethiopia's Derebi Welteji but crossed the line, a meeting record time of 3 minutes 54.75 seconds. Olympic silver medalist Jess Hall of Australia was third. And finally, Saul Alvarez remains the unified super middleweight world champion after earning a unanimous decision over Edgar Berlanga on Saturday. The Mexican knocked down Berlanga in the 3rd round in front of more than 20,000 fans at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. The 4-weight world champion then remained dominant throughout to inflict the first defeat of Berlanga's career and mark Mexican Independence Day celebrations with his 5th straight victory. With Sport Update, Suleiman Musa, NTA News.
And that's where we end the news on NTA International. Thanks for watching. I am Mina Daniels.